Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time tuning in, then hey girl or boy, how you doing? My name is Claudia and I upload videos soon to be twice a week, so I'm hoping you're yet to stay. If you're a returnee, a subby, then thank you so much for stopping back by. So in today's video, as you can tell by the title, I'll be showing you how to construct your very own wig from scratch. And the first thing that you will need is a mannequin head that you can find at your local beauty store. I think they go for like 150 rands, and I got this from Small Street, so it went for like 20-25 rands. Then the second thing you will need is some pins. This is to pin down the wig cap to keep it in place when you are busy sewing in the wig so it doesn't shift. You can use whatever pins you have. I have different kinds, as long as they have like a bolt at one end, a ball at one end, so it doesn't go through the entire wig cap when you're busy sewing down. Next, you will need some thread. I have this one that's a nice and stronger and thicker thread, which I love using always. And then I have my normal thread, which you can use if you don't have the first one. Then you will need some needles. I would recommend you get 2-3 needles, which would make the process even faster. And it be curvy needles. It will make it so much easier when sewing in. And then some hair clips. This is just to clip the hair out of the way while you're busy sewing in. You will need a pair of scissors, and then you will need adjustable wig elastic belt or an elastic band. This is just to give the wig that extra secureness. That's if you buy a wig cap or you're using a wig cap that doesn't have extra elastic band or that hair grips on the inside, then you can use one of this or an elastic band, which I'm showing you right now. This I cut off an old wig cap of mine. The first one I got off of sleekbeauty, and it was like 20 rands. I think super affordable. You will need a wig cap. You can use whatever one you can find or you like or prefer. I love this one. This I got from my local beauty store, or rather my Indian store. It went for 20 rands, and the reason why I love this is because it's more like a dome cap, meaning it has an elastic band right around it, which gives that extra secureness to the wig. And it also has these 2 lines in the middle, which is more like an indication on where to place your closure if you're working with one, or where the middle part would be. And then of course you will be needing your hair extensions. You can use whatever hair you have. Today I'm going for a more affordable option. So we are using hair from a brand called UNI hair. It is 100% premium quality hair. It comes as 6 pieces of hair or 6 bundles and a closure. So we have a 16-inch closure, 2 16-inch bundles, 2 18-inch bundles, and 2 20-inch bundles. I got this from my local Indian store, and it went for 360 rands. I'm so excited to show you guys the actual texture, the color, and the feel. Okay, well, I can't show you the feel, but the hair is just amazing. It looks like the real deal. Do you see? It doesn't have that plasticky shine, and it looks more like your natural kinky kind of hair. It also comes with the card, which is like a care card or instruction on how to take care of the hair, how to try and not tangle it at all. And then at the back, it just shows the other textures that this hair actually comes in, which I'm super excited and yet to get because we are on a budget. And what you're just seeing me doing is wrapping an extra plastic bag around my wig head or my mannequin head, because this comes quite small and you don't want your wig cap to shrink in after sewing in your weave, because it is gonna shrink in. So I'm just trying to make the wig cap or the wig head rather a little bit bigger, and I'm just placing another plastic on there, and then I'm gonna pin it down with my pins. You can put as much plastic bags as you like, as long as they're just nice and a little bit flat. It's not going to be perfect, but as long as it's a little bit flat, and so that your wig cap can actually fit perfectly on there. And after doing that, I'm going to place my wig cap on top of the wig head. And one thing that you should know is that you will be sewing in some of the plastic as well, because that happens, but it's totally fine because with plastic you can easily rip it off. Next, you want to pin down your wig cap so it doesn't move while you're busy sewing in. So put as much pins as you like until you are satisfied with how tight and how it is. So I'm showing you this hair bonding glue because this can be one of the options. If you feel you're not comfortable at all with sewing in and you feel like you're going to make a mess, then you can definitely option for hair bonding glue. So you're going to put a little bit of glue on the weave, and then you're gonna place it where you want it to be, and then just use your blow dryer to dry the glue really quick, which is another technique that I would most probably be doing in another video if you guys want to. So do leave a comment down below and let me know if you want to see that. And now I'm just showing you the closure up close, because girl, she is beautifully done. She's actually crocheted onto a real lace and she's flowy. I love the straight middle parting and that the hair is actually full on the closure. I wish they could have sold it separately as well, because I need me some new closures for the other wigs. And then I'm just showing you where to actually place your closure. So you want it to exceed like with a centimeter over the wig cap. You don't want to align it straight with the wig cap because you want it to look natural after you're done. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you'll see what I mean once I am done. Then you go ahead, you pin that down because you want to keep it into position for when you are sewing in, that it don't shift and move and you be sewing in crooked, even though that's what I did. I used the two lines of the wig cap to help me as an indication on where to place my closure, but because I am standing upside down, like basically I am sewing in upside down. If I would had to do the wig, I would stand in front of the mannequin head, but because I'm showing it to you guys, or I'm making a tutorial for you guys to see, I am standing at the back, and that made me mess up a little bit, so it went all sideways, but it was fine because I am making it for myself after all and not for anybody else. But if you'll be doing it for somebody, do it correct. So it shifted a little bit, but that is totally fine because I can adjust the wig cap into that direction, you know what I mean? Then you want to go ahead and tie the hair out of the way because you don't want to get any hair in the way when you are busy sewing in. And now we're going to start off by sewing the closure onto the wig cap. And I'm sure we all know how to do a sew in. If not, then just look closely. You are going to need to make sure that your thread has a knot at the end so it doesn't pull through entirely. And then you want to go through a method of lace and wig cap. So you got to get both to actually have the closure laid down or attached to the wig cap. You're gonna go lace, wig cap, lace, wig cap, or wig cap, lace, wig cap, lace. So you're gonna sew in whatever way, from whichever side, but you need to get both of them basically in the thread so they can stay together. And then we're gonna continue until we reach the end. And as you go, you are gonna be removing your pins so you don't forget that you have them in there. They are basically also just there to keep the closure in place or the hair in place. But once you're done sewing in that part, you can definitely go ahead and remove the pins. Also, another thing is I'm sewing in at night, and that's why I'm wearing pajamas, if you might be wondering. And also why lighting is changing up, because I'm sewing in at night and I'm using my ring light for lighting as well as the room's actual light. I decided to start sewing in at night, or to start constructing this week at night, because the next day I would have had a lot to do. I had like a busy schedule, so I had to start halfway, so I had a little bit left to actually do the following day. And also I'm sure you can see that the closure is not aligning with the two lines of the wig cap, because once more I am upside down, forgive me for that. But one thing about this, you can just shift the wig cap into the way that you want, and then you continue, girl. You don't need to stress. There's no stress needed at all. So I'm gonna sew in right down on this side, and once I read the end, this is how I am gonna close it off. Okay, so now we are starting off with the actual bundles, sewing on the actual bundles. And the bundle that you want to start off with would be the longest one. So you want to have long hair at the bottom and the shorter hair to the middle and the front, because you want that extra length at the bottom. If you had to sew in the shorter hair at the bottom and the longer hair at the top, it's gonna look uneven and it's just gonna look so weird. So start off with long hair at the bottom and then your shorter hair at the top. I have this one long weave. It's one bundle, which is a long weave that I folded into two, and I did a knot at the ends of both ends. I did a knot at the ends of both ends. I hope that makes sense, to have it as a double weave, which is something I would obviously not recommend, especially if it's this kind of hair, which is a 200-gram hair, which is a little bit. It was a full wig at the end, but do start off with a single weave, so you can have enough hair and you're not worried, because I was kind of freaking out at the end or at the middle, because I felt like, oh, I was thinking that the hair would not be enough. So I'm gonna sew in the end first, like twice, have like 2 knots at one piece of the wig cap. So you want to start again, weave, wig cap, weave, wig cap. You're gonna continue that method throughout the entire sewing process, and then you want to measure how you want the hair to flow or where you want the hair to be, and pin it down with another pin. So you want to keep it as loose as possible, because it's going to make it easier to manipulate. If you have the weave pinned down too tight, it is going to be a struggle to continue sewing in. And another thing is, since I was working upside down, it was a little bit of a struggle, a challenge, and I ended up sewing in a little bit crooked, which is totally fine because the wig is for me after all. But if you're going to do it for somebody else, definitely want to make sure you are sewing in straight. Use an indicator, which I'll show you what I'll be using for my second row. Use an indicator which would help you stay on track. So you're going to continue the same method once more. So like we used closure, wig cap. So you're going to go 2 weaves. Make sure that you have both weaves sewn in and then the wig cap. You don't want to miss any piece, because it is going to hang out. It's going to show once you brush through the hair. It is going to come loose and just ruin the entire thing. So at the end, I'm sure you can see that it is a little bit crooked. I went a little bit higher from where I started and where I measured off. But then the second time around, I decided to use a chalk to actually have as an indicator. I'm just doing a normal knot. Once more, you can do whatever knot you're comfortable with doing. You can use the one that we used for the closure. So here's the chalk to indicate me on where to actually sew in, which kind of helped a little bit. It honestly did help a little bit and made a little bit of a difference. And I'm just flipping the hair over. I am not cutting it off. If you're using your Brazilian hair and whatever hair, virgin hair, you definitely don't want to have a lot of pieces lying around. You want to just flip it over and continue sewing it. Make sure it's not bulky when you flip it over. Try and keep it as flat as possible, but flip it over and continue sewing it. I don't like having a lot of pieces around, but when it comes to the top, when you be sewing in on the top close to the closure, you want to keep it flat. So there you can cut off, honestly. There you can chop off pieces after sewing it in, so it can be as flat as possible and seamless. You don't want it to be too bulky at the top. So yeah, we continue sewing in until we reach the end and we make another knot. So now I'm starting with my second bundle, and then I decided to start with as a single weave because I was a little bit worried that the hair would not be enough, but it was enough, and I left a little bit of a big parting. But at the end, when I had enough hair left, I went back into that spacing that I left and I filled it up. So I continue sewing in where I ended. You want to continue there, okay? You don't want to leave any gaps open, so you want to continue sewing in, flip over the hair, and then you continue with your sewing, girl. And now we are moving on to the front because I was a little bit worried once more. So I decided to take the shorter hair at the front. Okay, I'm going to use the shorter bundles at the front around the closure. So I thought I should start off here so I don't have less hair at the front, but I also have like a full hair. And then I can, if I short some hair, I can go back into the first sewing, the first 2 rows, and I can chop that off and do it single weave, which would be a lot of work, but that was my plan. I want my front to always be perfect, to always look nice, and the back can be a mess. It's not a problem at all. So I'm using a single weave at the front, and I'm just showing you. And the first bundle that you're going to sew in, or the first weave that you want to sew in, must be as close to the closure as possible, so there is no gaps at all and it looks seamless. Okay, as close to the closure as possible. Once more, you make your knot at the end of the thread. You pull that knot through. I did it twice, 2 knots at the point of the weave, and then I'm going to sew in close to my closure as possible. I hope you guys can see that. It is the next day and I am continuing where I left off. So I'm sewing in the exact same way as I did in the beginning. So it will be wig cap, weave, or weave, wig cap, whichever way you prefer. And this time I have it as a double weave. So I have two weaves. I folded it in the middle like I did in the very beginning when I started sewing in, because I noticed that the hair would actually be enough. So I just placed that in the middle and I continued sewing in until it actually ended, or I reached the end of the weave. And then I'm just gonna go ahead to the areas where I left bigger spacing, and then I'm just gonna add some hair that is still left to that area. And here you can see there's a lot of space left. I left a big part open because I was not sure if the hair would be enough, and I thought maybe I would have to cut the first weaves that I did and then sew in like single weaves because I did it as a double, remember? So now I'm just using another bundle that is left and I'm sewing that in there where it is opened and just closing up all the spaces basically. And just like that, we are finally done. And this is just me doing the happy dance because honestly, I am happy that I'm done sewing in. We are finally done with the wig. Not completely done, but we are done sewing in the weaves and the hair. And as I let the hair loose, you can see how it is a full head of hair. It's a full wig. The sides don't look that perfect, but it is okay. Again, it's fine. We're not gonna see the sides by the waist. So yeah, And whilst I am removing the wig from the head, you will see that I sewed in quite a lot of the plastic, but it is fine because you can rip it off really easily. If it had to be a cloth that I had wrapped around the head, I would have had to cut that off and it would just be a lot. But anyways, now it's time to sew in the adjustable elastic band, and I showed you some hair clips and the other elastic band as well, and I'm just going to use the adjustable ones because I want to make sure when I feel like it is not that secure, I can adjust it even more tighter, but not that tight that it becomes uncomfortable. So I'm just going to sew them in upside down because once it is inside, I'm not sure how to explain that, but I'm sewing it upside down, basically inside out, because once I wear the wig, I had to check, once I wear the wig on my head, I must be able to put on the adjustable straps without having to flip it all over. And I'm just sewing in on the side where it is the elastic band and not on the harder side because I'm going to chop that off. I don't know if I was supposed to, but I felt like it was not necessary. So I'm just going to show you, and you can just continue watching until I'm done. Okay, now that we're done with the wig hem, let's finish up the actual wig. And now we have the inside of the cap. So you want to see the lace, and this is the part that you want to remove. So what we're going to do, you see this is sewn in from, so this part is sewn in. You want to avoid cutting that part. We are going to remove this little pocket right here. This is a pocket. You want to remove it. So you're going to cut around here, far from the stitching, far from the stitching. So you are going to cut right here. Be careful that you don't cut the stitching, okay? Cut right around there. Now you have your lace. So now you can actually tint it and it won't reflect black. It will actually show like a actual lace. And then we are also just going to cut off the lace. Since this is not a frontal, you don't need to have it on your head before cutting it off. And this is pre-plucked, as you can see, so no plugging is needed. You also don't want to cut too straight. So what we want to do is you want to cut like in a pattern. I hope you guys can see. So what you want to do, you don't want to cut too straight. You want to cut in a pattern like so. And don't worry if you cut some hair, it's totally fine. So cut it in like a shape way, you know, and voila. And then this, if you want to cut some of this off, just cut this off, but be careful not to cut the actual knot, okay, because this is going to cover that part up. So there you have your lace. I was actually thinking of plugging a little bit more, but let's see if I work with some foundation or with some concealer, if it is gonna do a difference, make a difference. Hey guys, so I am finally done with the wig and I'm gonna put it on right now to show you guys how it actually looks on me. But before I do that, so I have it here. Before I do that, I am just gonna cut off these 2 pieces because I actually didn't cut this off and I saw that it is gonna show. And then also the actual closure, I placed a little bit of concealer in the parting, as you can see there, but I'm just gonna tint the entire lace real quick. So you can either use a shade, a compact powder, or a foundation that is lighter or darker than your skin tone, and I like to use something that's a little bit darker. I also do have my Revlon foundation, and then I have my LA Gold Pro concealer in the color Toffee. That's just for in case I am not satisfied with the shade that it is. So I'm gonna open up this. This is quite dark. I'm just gonna mix the 2. Another thing would be to wear a light brown or like a dark brown stocking cap so that it can give that fake scalp illusion. But since I don't have any, I have my black stocking cap on, but I went ahead and tinted the closure. So I'm going to place this on and then I'm going to cut off these 2 pieces. So this is the wig that I made just to make sure, just to show you guys that it's the actual wig that I made. That's the elastic bands. So I'm gonna take the elastic band and place it on here, like that. I hope you guys can see. Just making sure that it actually matches my skin tone a little bit. So I'm gonna go into the powder a little bit more with a flat brush. Like the parting is perfect now, but do you see all the flyaways? And for that I'm just gonna use my olive oil wrap set mousse, and I'm just gonna shake and put a little bit of that on here just to set all that. So yeah guys, this is the final look. I am honestly in love with this hair. I love how it is full and it is so flowy, but still lightweighted, you know what I mean? So yeah, this is the hair. This would probably be my go-to wig, as it is a closure. It doesn't need any gluing down, it doesn't need any got-to-be glue or whatsoever, and also it is low maintenance, so you just need your brush and you just brush through it, and it is straight and silky soft. I love this hair. I would definitely say this is something that you can get if you know you're on a budget and you don't have that much money to purchase actual virgin hair or human hair or Brazilian hair or whatsoever. This is something you can definitely get for yourself. Maybe this would definitely be for my girls that are on a budget but still do want to look cute. We still want to rock and we still do want to look beautiful, you know what I mean? So yeah, this is the hair, this is the wig. I'm gonna show you the back right now. It's all done by yours truly. Now you can do your own wig. You don't need to pay a lot of money to do this. The hair is affordable and making it yourself is also super affordable. Guys, so it is the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you found it really helpful and that you learned some tips from here. If you did, kindly give this video a huge thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, as well as ring that notification bell right next to it so you can always be notified once I upload a new video, which is soon to be twice a week. A little pressure there, but I feel like I can do this. I think I can do this. I feel like I can do this. So yeah, you don't want to miss out on any of that video. So do switch on your post notification bell, and also do leave a comment down below. Let me know if this was really helpful, if you learned some tricks, and if you would definitely be constructing your own wig, if you feel like I made it a little bit simpler for you guys. And yeah, I'm saving you guys some coins. Do let me know in the comment section, because we're all about saving coins over here. Okay, we are all about, I don't want to say cheap, affordability. So yeah, and also do let me know in the comment section if there's anything else that you would like me to improve, that you would perhaps give me your tips on to improve in this, because I am not a professional at all. I'm such an amateur. I am still learning as I go. I know there's a lot that I need to work on, but I feel like this turned out really cute. It is just a temporary wig. It's not permanent because it is high quality, unless you take really good care of this. Maybe this can last you a little bit longer. I'm just gonna see about that. So yeah guys, also do let me know in the comment section if you would like to see a new or different technique of doing your own, constructing your own wig, because I am honestly planning on getting me the exact same brand hair that's affordable, but just in a curl pattern, because we know it's summertime and curly hair is the perfect hair for summertime. Okay, you want to look wavy when you walk down the stairs. But anyways, yeah, so let me know if you would like to see me construct that wig and maybe use hair bonding glue instead of the thread and needle. Okay, so yeah, I once more hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to share with your friends and your girlfriends and your family and your boyfriends so we can go together. And thank you so much once more for watching. Do stay safe and see you all in my next video.